What's up, Dorkalicious? This is another podcast brought to you by Lydia.
And Kenny G.
Yes, guy. Okay, so today's topic, we're going to be talking about our favorite Metal Gear games. So if you're aware of the Metal Gear Solid franchise, it spans about, I'd say maybe 6 titles. Like back from like the NES.
There's a ton.
Okay.
There's a ton of Metal Gear titles. But
a couple of them aren't really canon, right? I think, well, one of them.
there's lots that are not canon. There's Metal Gear Solid Acid, Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops.
The zombie one, is that one out yet?
Ugh.
Anyways, I know. So,
Don't mention that one.
No, I know. Okay, so Ken, we will start with you. What is your favorite Metal Gear Solid?
Well, I have lots. I enjoy them all, really, right? I mean, Metal Gear Solid, each of them kind of has their positives and negatives, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Right? So, I mean, the very first one, I enjoyed probably the most. Well, maybe not. I think actually Metal Gear Solid 2 was probably my most enjoyed of them all. Simply because I got the PS2 for Christmas, and then I immediately got Metal Gear Solid. Or no, it was the other way around. I just got the PS2, and then I got Metal Gear Solid 2 for Christmas, and it was amazing. Literally, I went over to my dad's house. He got it for me for Christmas, and I played it at my dad's house for 2 days straight until I beat the game. And I still have the game, and it was a wicked experience. I absolutely loved that game. It was so awesome. So Metal Gear Solid 2, it's the mental thriller, right? Like, do you remember when it gets really weird right near the end?
Yes, I need
It gets
scissors,
really
like that one.
The like where it's all like the whole the Patriots.
Yes.
Remember, yeah.
Yes.
And how they're trying to control the world and control knowledge, and that's that one where Hideo Kojima really goes out there and starts to talk about memes and how if everyone's allowed a voice, then he basically predicted the present that we're in right now, right?
Yeah.
He basically predicted that the Patriots, right, which was an AI, wanted to control media. Because if everyone was allowed a voice, chaos would essentially erupt, right? Mm-hmm. And so that was their purpose. Their purpose wasn't necessarily to control things for any personal gain, right? Although it was leveraged for personal gain.
Yes.
By Ocelot. The original purpose was to control media, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. Anyways, I really enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 2. It was fantastic when it came out. I remember watching all the trailers and just being in absolute love with it before it even came out.
What about Raiden?
All right, yeah, Raiden.
Yeah, let's address the elephant in the room here.
Raiden? Okay, so I played Metal Gear Solid 1, and that was the first cinematic video game I ever played, right? Like the first real cinematic video game that's totally changed my appetite in video games forever, right? And that's why all of them kind of deserve a nod, right? Because Metal Gear Solid 1, really, before that, most games I played were like Diablo, Mario, stuff like that, MechWarrior.
Very like linear stuff. Right?
Well, even the stuff that's more open, it was never like heavily story based where it was cinematic. And, that was my first introduction. Now, I do realize that there are games that came out before it that were cinematic, but I had never played them, right? Metal Gear was my introduction into cinematic gameplay, and it totally changed what I enjoy in games, right? Where if you look at my shelf of games, a lot of them are cinematic type games now because that interests me. I like the idea of being involved in a plot, in a story. And I know this is a whole tangent now, right? But there's like this whole debate that rages on, and it will rage on forever, of, people who prefer the gameplay and want the characters to shut up. And
Oh.
the people who love the story and the gameplay is there to
Is like second.
is there to let you be part of the story. Right?
Yes. Yes.
So I don't think either is wrong. Just both have to acknowledge and respect each other, right?
Fair enough.
But Metal Gear Solid 2, my favorite of the series, I think. At least I think. Metal Gear Solid 3 was fantastic as well. But Raiden, even though people hate Raiden,
Yes.
and I wasn't a super big fan of him, the first time I played it, I was like, what the
Who is this guy?
what is going? Even though, like, when you go back now and you play it, that plot twist of that is Raiden and that's not Snake swimming in, right?
Yes.
And it clearly is not Snake, but at the time, I didn't even pick up on the clues, right?
You
So-
wanted it to be Snake.
right? Well, even. Okay, if you watch that opening sequence where Raiden swims in
Yeah.
to the plant, you can see, like, I'm pretty sure you can see his silver or whatever color
Blonde.
hair is. Yeah, his blonde hair.
Yeah.
Is it blonde or is
I
it
think so.
silverish?
Or whitish.
It's like a whitish whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of see his hair sticking out from the mask, right? Because he's wearing that scuba mask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And even though it was so obvious, I never picked up on any of it until he pulled off the mask, and I'm just like, what is this?
Who's this guy?
What is this bullshit?
Yeah.
Right? And then it took me hours to get okay with Raiden.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Where I was like,
eventually
give
we'll
me
have to-
Solid Snake. All I care about is Solid Snake.
All we got was the Iroquois Pliskin. What's that about?
Yeah. I mean, I was so in love with Metal Gear Solid 2. I had another game called The Document of Metal Gear Solid 2, which was like
VR missions?
no, it was like a making of. It was a
Oh,
documentary where you can interact with the documentary. You can explore the levels.
Ooh.
Right? So I had that, and then I had the art book, and I had the figurines somewhere, although I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
I think they're buried somewhere. Anyways,
Awaiting another IKEA display shelf.
yes. That, I think Metal Gear Solid 2 is my favorite, although Metal Gear Solid 3 deserves a ton of respect because in a lot of ways it is the best designed game of the series. Metal Gear Solid 4 I also enjoyed.
Yeah, like you were saying, there is a lot of Metal Gears. Like I was looking at the list here. It's so it like started off with Metal Gear, which was like the very first one. Then Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. Then we get into Metal Gear Solid, which was like the PS1 era. Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, which is the ones that you're talking about.
Yes.
My favorite, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Then we have Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. That is, which one was that? That was
Old Snake.
That was old man Snake, yes. And then we have Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and that was like a after Metal Gear Solid 3, right?
Yeah, it takes
Yeah.
place between 3 and 5.
Yes, and then Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. That
Moneymaker.
the moneymaker.
That was the one that was
Oh,
like the
that was-
30-minute game
Oh dear,
that
yes.
costs like $40.
Yes, that was ridiculous. And then we had Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. That was the one that was like, with Quiet and Fake Snake, essentially.
Yep.
Oh, spoiler, sorry. And then so they had expanded things. Metal Gear Solid Integral, is that the one that you were talking about where it's like not canon?
No, Integral's like a premium edition of Metal Gear Solid 1.
Ooh.
There are some other games, but they might not even be listed there if they're not.
Well,
canon.
Metal Gear Solid VR Missions, I remember this one.
Yeah, I own that one.
Metal Gear Solid 2 Subsistence, or
I own
Substance.
that.
So, and then Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. That was essentially a remake with
Of one.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence.
Which we have as well.
Yay! And I think Metal Gear Solid HD Collection.
Okay, well, don't worry about that.
Anyways,
You're
that's
going to be
everybody.
reading that forever.
I don't know. Oh god, it keeps going. It doesn't stop. Okay, sorry. Anyways, let's get to my favorite. Metal Gear Solid 3 was an absolute joy to play through. I remember me and you, we sat there for hours playing through stuff.
Yeah.
There was like puzzles that like would stump Kenny, and then I got it and I was like, oh my god. So I felt like super involved in the gameplay. Anyways, but okay, so Metal Gear Solid 3 basic synopsis is prequel to Solid Snake. this boss, Naked Snake, at this point, because he doesn't beat the boss yet. Anyways, Naked Snake, the boss defects.
The boss, which is a female. Strong female
Strong
protagonist.
I know, strong female protagonist, awesome. So she defects to Russia.
Soviet.
And Soviet Union. I was gonna say the Koreans, and I'm like, no, that's not right. Yeah. So anyway, so it's his job to find her and kill her. So anyways, which is sad. So go through a lot of different, like, there's jungle themes. There's like a waterfall. There's like, you know, lots of like. So it was a great game.
Yeah, it was well designed, and
Yes.
it takes Metal Gear out of the urban setting.
Yes.
So every Metal Gear before Metal Gear Solid 3 was in an urban setting, which is to say they're inside facilities, right? Everything's made of concrete. You're sneaking around corridors,
Or vents or ventilation.
ventilation ducts, and
Yeah.
big rooms, and
Tanks and all that stuff.
That type stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Metal Gear Solid 3 takes you out of all that and throws you in a jungle and
Yes.
says, figure out how to survive. And you had to like kill animals to feed yourself, and there was a system where when you got injured, you got scarred.
You had to
and
suture your
you had
own
to treat
wounds.
your wounds.
Yeah.
Or you remember your life bar, right?
Yeah.
You had a life bar, and then when you got injured, the life bar would never go back up unless you treated your wound.
Yes.
And so the life bar would be permanently smaller.
Yes.
Unless you like, fixed your broken arm or
There was a stamina bar too, right?
yes.
Yeah. So like it was a lot more in depth.
And the stamina, I think eating affected your
Yes,
stamina.
that's right. Yes, and the characters like were amazing. Like even like the villains in there, it was like, you know, there was the boss, there was the pain, the sorrow. Actually, there's a few. Pain, sorrow,
fear.
the fear. Yeah, it just like wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I loved playing through it, and like the story. And then when Eva came in and she was a double agent, I was like, oh my
And
god.
Ocelot too. He was a double
Ocelot.
agent too.
Yes.
I'll tell you, my favorite part of Metal Gear Solid 3 is when
The phone call with the president at the end.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
No. The scene
Yes.
where you bomb and you destroy the Shagohod and you're escaping from Groznygrad.
On the motorcycle.
And then you get out and Eva's there,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she's waiting on a motorcycle to take you to the escape plane. And then they turn around and the facility explodes and Shagohod comes out.
Yes.
And it's not destroyed.
I
You
know.
thought you destroyed it, but you didn't destroy it.
Yes.
And now it's pissed, and what's the guy's name?
Oh god, the big guy who shoots lightning from his hands.
Yeah, Colonel Volgin.
Yes.
And he's coming after you.
Yes.
Driving the Shagohod.
Like with his like bare fists, because he's like in the circuitry.
Yeah, he's like going ballistic,
Yeah.
right? He's like losing his mind, and you're like, this awesome music is playing, and yeah, like it is awesome soundtrack.
Oh man, it just
And you're firing your machine gun, and you're racing down the I think it's a runway.
Yeah.
Airport runway.
And there's also like, you know, like the soldiers.
The soldiers are pursuing you on
Yes.
their motorcycles, and you're on a motorcycle.
Oh, like they're in jeeps, and then Ocelot's in a motorcycle, and then it's just like, oh my god, there's like so much stuff happening.
It was an epic chase.
Yes.
And it goes on for like probably 15 minutes of the game where
Yeah.
you're like firing a machine gun at this thing, and then the Shagohod is slowly closing in on you, and then you just got to start trying to shoot the treads, and
Yeah.
then you get across this bridge and you have to blow up the bridge to try to
Yes.
prevent it from getting to you.
And shoot the C4.
Yes.
Ah!
And then it gets to you anyways.
Yeah, so annoying.
And then you have to have like a one-on-one fight where Eva's
She's like
distracting
distracting
him,
Yeah.
and then you're fighting him.
Yes.
And then what happens after that? Then there's more chase. There's even more chase, and then Eva gets injured, and then you have to take care of
Oh
her.
my god, that was so heartbreaking.
I thought she was gonna die.
I
in
thought
that
she was
scene.
gonna die too.
I was like, she's too likable. I just feel
Something bad's
Eva
gonna
death
happen.
coming on here.
I know.
Like 100%.
I
And then
know.
they did it where she got impaled by that tree branch.
Yes, and you're like-
I'm like, she's dead. God
And so
damn.
she's like, just leave me here. And he's like, no. So then she's like, okay, yeah, you're right. And then she's like, fuck it. And then she like pulls out the tree branch from her like abdomen, and she's like bleeding, and she's like, I'm good. And then like
You have to treat her wounds.
Yeah, you have to patch her up, and then she
she's like having a
survives.
panic attack.
I know.
And then what story would you say?
Like she survives.
Yeah, she survives.
Yeah.
She's awesome. I loved Eva.
Me too.
It really made Big Boss a much more interesting character.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. It had like a backstory to it, right? You're like, hey, how did this guy get to where he is?
Where he became a bad guy.
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
understand how at the very end of the game, he's forced to kill his mentor.
The boss.
Right? The boss. In order to, and the big twist is that she didn't actually defect.
Yes.
Right? She was sent there
By her country.
by the United States
Yeah.
to take the fall for there was like some kind of scheme going on, I believe, and Volgin shoots off a nuke.
Yes.
Right? Volgin shoots off a nuke. So that changed the scheme.
Yes, because you went to go in and rescue the scientist. And then just for shits and
Sokolov.
giggles, that's when he shoots the nuke just to test it.
Volgin shoots the nuke just for shits and giggles.
And then they don't
blows up a
believe,
huge area.
yeah, and they don't believe that Volgin did it because like, why would he shoot on his own country? It must have been the American.
Right.
Yes,
And so she's sent in to take the fall.
yes,
For
for his trigger happy BS.
yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
And so at the end, Big Boss or Naked Snake is forced to kill his best friend,
Yeah,
who trained him and knew they were very close. You know, it was like
they weren't lovers. They
they weren't
just-
lovers. They were like best friends.
Yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
he was forced to kill her. By his own government,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both working for the same government. So then
Yes.
you see why he began his fall from grace,
Yes,
where he's like, I don't trust them. you know?
yes,
It's a very interesting game. I think when it first came out and they said it's set in the 60s, I was like, this is
This is
so
gonna be weird.
dumb.
I
I'm
know.
like, God damn, this is so dumb. Until it came out, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like, in my opinion, it is the most well-designed Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, 100%.
Everything about it, the camo system.
Yes, that
even
was
the
fun.
we didn't even mention the camo system.
That was a lot of fun.
What else? There's so much to that game,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So the games after it really tried to emulate what Metal Gear Solid 3 did and didn't do it as well
Yes.
as Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yes, I agree.
Right? I mean, even Metal Gear 4, it had the motorcycle chase in that game too, and it was not nearly as interesting.
Like it did have Eva in that motorcycle chase too, but yeah, it just didn't capture you, right? Because there was no. I feel like love stories kind of capture you a little bit more than a regular
Yes,
story do.
I think. Well, that's a whole. See, we'll save that for a whole other podcast
fair
where we can
enough.
talk about how there's a problem with media where they're so scared of trying to put love into games, not in just games but movies and everything,
Yeah, true,
right?
yeah.
They're like everything has to be like this sterile PC thing, but people get invested in love,
Yes.
right? And invested in the characters. Nothing makes you more invested than being like, that is my electronic girlfriend or electronic husband.
Yes.
And I fucking love that character. Excuse my language.
I'm gonna
Right?
play this game for 40 hours.
Right, because I love that character.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
just
or
us.
I want to see that relationship work out
Ooh, yeah,
between
you
these
see
characters.
it bloom. It's beautiful. Oh my god. Yeah, the character design is beautiful. Eva is stunning, and
Well, so is Naked Snake.
Yeah, no offense. Yeah, he's like Lady Boner, fantastique. Like he is hot. Anyways, so sorry. No offense, Kenny. Please don't be.
What about Ocelot? Is he good looking?
He's weirdy.
At his young age, I'm talking.
No, yeah, I'm talking about. Well, obviously, no. Ew.
I know he gets weird when he gets old.
I know he gets weird. Yeah, he's cute. He's cute when he's young. Yeah, he's like he's cute. He's cocky. He's blonde. And he's the boss's son. Spoiler! Oh my god, sorry guys.
Oh my god. You see how excited we are to talk about Metal Gear 3?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Tells you how awesome Metal Gear Solid 3 is.
And it's been out for a long. I didn't think I was like, oh yeah, it's been out like for 4 years, and I'm like,
2004.
it's been a long,
earlier.
long ass time.
I wonder what year it was.
I was such a fan of that game. I mean, I even made you. Do you remember I made you like the two like stuffies? I made
plushies,
you the plushies. I made you an Eva and a
We
snake plushie.
cosplayed it once.
Yes, we cosplayed it.
And then
It was amazing.
I actually wanted to get the figurines, but
Yes.
then they were like crazy expensive.
my
They were like
God.
$200, $300 figures.
Yes, brutal.
I was like, okay, no.
Not happening. Sorry.
Then I remember. Do you remember when Substance came out, and you could get this limited edition
Yes.
that came with like a DVD version of Metal Gear Solid 3 put
Yes.
into like movie form,
Yes.
right? But we couldn't find it. We were willing to travel a long distance.
We're looking into like train tickets to like Newfoundland. Like that's how like obsessed we were in getting this stupid thing.
That's true.
Do you remember that? It was
and
brutal.
we couldn't find it anywhere. I think maybe we did find it in Newfoundland,
Yeah.
but then we were like, maybe this is not worth it.
It's gonna cost us like $1,000 to get there. Yeah, in like 6 days by
Yeah.
train. Oh my god, I don't know what the hell we were thinking. But I mean, anyways, we can probably find it online now.
That's
I'm sure.
the naivety of youth.
Yes, definitely.
But
But that's how passionate we were about the game. So
yeah, we absolutely loved Metal Gear Solid 3.
yes, it was it was even like a relationship builder. Like we played it together, like
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
like 3 times, maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
maybe
a few
more.
times at least.
Yeah.
And then we played Apis, the ape.
the
thing.
secret game, Ape Escape.
Yeah, we had to like run around a snake catching the
Gotcha.
escape monkeys.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That was so much fun.
We probably should have just made this podcast just about Metal
Okay,
Gear Solid 3.
sorry. I feel like we've gone on. Yeah, our timer went off a long time
No,
ago.
it's okay. We might as well just keep going at this point. Anyone who was bored is already tuned out.
I suppose.
basically.
You sleep on the couch. Like this podcast is perfect. I'm kidding.
But yeah, it was easily, that's the problem trying to pick your favorite. They're all so good.
Yes, they are.
Right?
Yes.
And that's why okay, so let's move on from 3. 3 is a gem. I think if you ask most people who aren't even in the Metal Gear, they'll tell you Metal Gear Solid 3 is a fantastic game.
Yes.
Even the intro sequence. Remember the intro sequence? Or
This guy is
the music?
Does this Pennywise know what he's doing?
Or that too, where the intro the dive.
Yes.
Or even the the title screen where it's
Yes.
like the James Bond where it's just like the and like he's doing the CQC to the
Yes,
guys on the
yes.
menu screen. You're like, oh my god, even this is awesome.
The song,
the
Snake Eater
song.
Oh my god, what a thrill! Oh, so good.
We even bought Karaoke Revolution
Because it had
Snake
Eater
Eater
on
yeah.
it. It was like one of those unlocked game. Like
And you had to friggin'
I had to play the whole game.
max out the game.
I had to max out the game to unlock the song. I remember that. That was like one of my greatest achievements. And I was like, my voice was hoarse, but I'm like, I did it. I got the song.
I'm going to sleep now.
Yeah, no kidding. Eh? That was awesome. Yeah, there was so much about that game that just life changer, right? It makes you like love
unbelievable. So that's part of the thing is how do you top that? It was such an amazing game.
You don't.
You can't top it, right? So Metal Gear Solid 4 came out. Metal Gear Solid 4 is a great game.
Yeah, no, it was good.
It's a really good game, and the
feels were not there.
The feels were not the same, and there was a lot of stuff where I was, later I learned how Kojima was not too happy to be making Metal Gear Solid 4. He wanted to stop at 2, then he wanted to stop after 3. And then the fact that he was making 4 made him kind of grumpy.
Yeah.
And so part of the whole, old Snake thing was, he was like, I'm getting older, so I want Snake to reflect the fact that I'm getting older.
Fair enough.
But then he was also kind of just like, well, I'm just going to make Snake old, so you can't make another game about Snake.
Surprise!
He's a geriatric old man, okay?
I know.
And you're suiting him up to go fight robots
Yeah, pretty much.
and super soldiers.
Oh, that was with the PMCs, right?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that was that one.
Right? And like, he's like in a suit and like white hair and white beard,
Yeah. Get off my lawn, kind of feel.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
kind of different. But I mean, that one had an interesting. Oh, that was with the mooing robots.
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
There was a whole other interesting thing how the mooing of the robots had to do with mooing soothes people, right?
Yes.
Which would make them less. They would make it more passive, make people more passive
Yes.
for when they attack.
Yes, that's right. And the female villains in that was insane. I remember those girls. Remember all those girls?
Yeah, the beast.
Yeah, the
core.
Beast girls.
Yeah, there was the 4 beasts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That was
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes,
Beauty and the Beast.
there we go. That's the ones. Yeah, yeah. Yes, it was. It was a good game in its own right, but not as
Okay,
good
the
as
best part of that game is
Okay.
when you go back to Shadow Moses.
Yes, and everything's abandoned.
Everything's broken, and then Snake's like depressed because he's like a surveillance camera, and then the camera just kind of breaks and falls
Yes.
off, and he's like, oh.
Yes, yes, that was good. That was a good
And then
throwback.
it starts playing those like audio clips of like Snake. Do you remember? Like,
Yes.
remember it starts playing clips from the original game,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
you're like, oh my god, the nostalgia!
Nostalgia's too strong.
So, even though, and then there was the Rex versus Ray fight. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Right? And then Raiden stops the boat from crushing Solid Snake. You remember that? And then we thought Raiden was dead because he gets crushed by the boat. You're like, Raiden's dead. But then he comes back in the final arc to do like this
ninja, the
no
robot ninja
armed
thing?
ninja fight against
Oh,
a bunch of
yeah.
female, I think the frog unit is what they're called.
yes,
The female
yes, yes.
female jumping
Yes.
soldiers.
I remember them. Yeah. Yeah.
And then Snake has to do the crawl through the microwave
The
room.
radiation. Oh my
And he's like
God.
getting cooked alive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then
that was heartbreaking. That really hurt.
yeah, and then he's like I don't know if he was spitting up blood, but he was like
Yeah, I think-
having like old man spasms.
Oh, it was so sad.
And he's like, give me some more steroids, I need to get back in action.
I know. Yeah.
Or whatever the injection they were
Yeah.
hitting in their neck.
Probably nano machines or something. It was
Nano
sad.
machine, son. And then finally it ends with the epic fist fight between Ocelot and Snake.
Yes.
Where they're two
yes.
old men.
Two old men duking it out.
And it goes through the different music, so it's
Yes.
playing the different music from each game, and like their combat style changes based on the music playing.
Yes.
And then it ends with like the very somber guitar music of Metal Gear Solid 4, and they're both just like
They're just getting tired.
they're just like two old men like just punching each other, and they're just like, oh god, why are we doing this?
Oh my god.
And then it ends with Snake beats Ocelot, and then he has like a retirement, I guess, finally.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Raiden has a happy ending.
Because he has Sunny.
He has a son.
No, the girl. Isn't her name Sunny? is that
No,
different?
Sonny's with Otacon. Sonny's with
Oh,
Otacon.
shoot, okay.
Raiden has a son.
Oh, yes.
But Rose said it wasn't his son.
And
but then it turns out
was.
it actually was his son. And that they were just protecting the son because they were worried that, people would go after him.
Yes, yes.
It
Even
was like a happy ending for everyone. Actually, the only thing I absolutely hated in that game was Meryl hooking up with Johnny.
What was that about?
Oh my god!
Piss off of the year. It's just like, and then, yes, that was terrible. Because Meryl's supposed to be with Snake. So, I don't know. Maybe they were implying a male relationship for Snake, perhaps?
I think Snake hit it.
He hit it with Otacon?
No, with Meryl.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. At least a couple times, probably.
And then he was like, yeah.
And then she's like, let's see if the man lives up to legend. Oh, I guess not.
He didn't last long enough.
Let's go for fucking Johnny over here.
Are you Solid Snake or are you Liquid Snake?
Womp womp. Yeah, that was okay. Okay.
So that brings
That one
us
wasn't
to
bad. Okay.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah. Well.
Why don't you tell? I've been kind of going nonstop. So
Well-
why don't you tell us?
Well, because I feel like you're more in depth and more knowledgeable. Because like I give you like a very brief synopsis that's very strange. Metal Gear Solid 5.
You were there the whole.
I was there the whole time. Okay, Metal Gear Solid 5. Ishmael, call me Ishmael. You're in the bed beside the guy, and then the person tries to kill you, and then you try to run away.
Ishmael is Big Boss.
I know, don't tell people. That's a spoiler. That's a spoiler. Okay.
All we've
Anyways.
been doing is talking about spoilers.
Okay, fair enough. So then,
Ares dies, okay?
okay. Yes. Okay. But this is a different series. Let's get back on track.
Okay.
So we're in the psycho ward, and then this gets shot up by helicopters and stuff. And you run away, but then there's like a ghost guy, and then Ocelot's like, come in my cube van, and then they're driving, and then the ghost man's like, "Woo!" And then somehow he's on
Ocelot's not in the cube.
That's why I'm asking.
Okay, maybe I should do the synopsis.
You do the synopsis. Okay, that's what I said. That's what I said. I'm like,
How did you? Your memory like blurred everything.
oh, you know what? No. Ishmael is in the cube van, and then Ocelot's on a horse, and he's like, go on to the Wild West on this horse, and then there's like a horse part for some reason, and then you're in Afghanistan, and then you meet some hottie biscotti who doesn't speak, and your bro who doesn't have an arm and a leg.
Right.
And then you gotta collect people by stealing them with parachutes.
That's true. With balloons.
Balloons. And then you get on a big giant boat. But then the guy tricked you he tricked you because the government's gonna check it out. Oh no, you blew everything up. And then there was a bomb in my vagina. And
that happens before.
Okay. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna let you explain it. Okay.
Continue your explanation.
Okay, sorry. The bomb in the vagina is before. So the bomb in the vagina already happened. So this is post vagina. Okay, so then afterwards, you're in Afghanistan stealing people, you're stealing plants, you're stealing animals at some point. Then you get on the floating island. Then floating island, you're like, oh, let's make it a little bit bigger, and then it becomes bigger the more people that you capture, and then they're like, we love you, boss, happy birthday, here's some cigars, and then you have to, then there's a quiet lady, and she's like really quiet, and then there's this old man who's surrounded by candles. You have to go find this old man surrounded by candles, but then while you're looking for the man surrounded by candles, then there's this ward of people who have earbuds in their throats, and the reason why they do is because of some sort of linguistic parasite. Then you have to go find No Face or Skull Face or some face.
Skull Face.
And then you have to go ride with him on a jeep while he explains his whole plan to you while you talk to him.
That is the stupidest sequence in the game.
And then you have some glass in your face for some reason. And then you're fighting...
Glass in your face?
Yeah, some glass in your face. Like a big piece of glass in your face.
No, it's boulder. It's like stone, I think, or... Shrapnel. It's shrapnel.
Okay, sorry, so you go shrapnel. Then at one point, you're on a big piece of cement, and some zombie people are coming after you, and there's this really annoying fight that you can't get over. It took us forever. Then...
big piece of cement.
Then
I think it's an airport.
Yeah, and then... Turns out you've been double-crossed by a few people. You're on the desert again for some god unknown reason. You get bit by a snake, and then Quiet's like, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, I didn't think she talked. This is amazing. And then she saved your life. And then...
I like your review of the game.
Thank you. And then there was the old man and Quiet are actually like besties. And then they're like, we both speak the same language.
They both... they're speaking native, not gibberish.
And then something about Skullface, and then he's like, I'm gonna kill you because you killed my leg. And then they kill him, and I think that's pretty much the end of it.
Why does Skullface hate Big Boss?
I don't know.
See, that is a problem.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it wasn't really Big Boss. It was... Ishmael was the real Big Boss, and that's why... Oh, Miller got the fakie, but Ocelot got the real guy. And then, so the real guy's like, peace, I'm gonna go live an awesome life with Eva. We're gonna go have some babies. And then the other guy's like, I'm really mad because it turns out I was the pilot of the airplane, and now I have the face of that guy.
Now I'm gonna start a world war. I'm starting Outer Heaven.
Oh, and that's where it turns into the NES game. And that's why when you kill Big Boss, you're not actually killing really Big Boss, you're killing the other Big Boss, who is the
killing Venom Snake.
Yes. Okay, so did that make sense? Sort of.
Sort of. That was an interesting...
I think you walked away at one point, you're like, I can't even deal with this shit.
Your synopsis is very interesting.
Thank you.
But, suffice to say, it is the most disappointing of the series.
Yes.
After the amazing Metal Gear Solid 3, And 2 is fantastic. 1 is great.
Oh yeah.
1 is great. I mean,
it was. It was.
I mean, think about all
First
the great
time,
stuff
yeah,
that
it was
happened. You know, Shadow Moses was cool, and Metal Gear Solid 1, and
had the
Sniper
radar.
Wolf,
Oh,
and the
yes.
first time you meet Otacon, and you know all the little
Vulcan
stuff.
Raven.
Even Vulcan Raven was a cool character, right? So you have that, and then you have Metal Gear Solid 2, which was great. Then you have 3, which is probably the
that-
gem of the PS2.
Yes.
Then you have Metal Gear Solid 4, which is still pretty good. We just ranted about how great it was for like 10 minutes.
I know, it's a good point. Yeah.
And then you have 5, which is like,
Dumpster fire. It had the potential.
I bought a PS4 for that game.
But the thing is, I think what had happened was Kojima himself was kind of getting a little bit nutty when it came to Hollywood names, and so he spent most of his budget on that and
That's
not
probably
on
true.
not on what it was supposed to be. So they're like, really, it was if Konami had let him finish, he probably would have created another masterpiece. But the thing is, he was tired. They were tired. It was kind of like, okay, we need to end this relationship. This is not working anymore. Sorry, bro. And that's kind of what happened.
Right. Yeah.
And now he's making
I think
weird games.
Okay, so let's talk about Kojima for just 1 minute, which
Okay.
is there are people who love Kojima.
Kojima
with-
farted in a bag. This is the greatest thing ever.
I can't wait to smell that shit.
That smells farts.
I could fart if you need me to.
No, thanks. I'm good.
But I like Kojima's work. I like Snatcher,
Yes.
the Sega CD. I like
Police
Police Knots. That was a great game
was a
too.
great
You know, we should do like a playthrough of Police Knots.
yeah. Zone of Enders.
Zone of Enders. I love Zone of Enders. I love Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4. But I mean, sometimes you have to be willing to criticize. To
Yeah, surround yourself with yes men.
right. It's like the George Lucas effect,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Where I believe Kojima's experiencing the George Lucas effect, right? And that was part of why 5 is whack,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you can say Konami is a bad company, and everyone says fuck Konami. And I believe Konami is a bad company. I really do. You read about the way they treat their employees. Well, it's not that different from EA,
Yes.
really.
Yes.
But, you know, everyone keeps buying EA games.
Yes.
You know, fuck EA.
True.
You know? Or fuck Ubisoft or those other companies that also treat their employees like that,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But they're in it for the money,
Yes.
right?
That's abundant. Clear.
And what am I trying to get at here?
Well, he spent 5 years on the game.
He spent
and was
5
way over
years and didn't finish it.
Yes. Yes.
5 years and we got like 30% of a game.
That's right.
The opening sequence of Metal Gear Solid 5 was so incredible
Yeah.
that we were like, this game is gonna be flippin' amazing. We're like, yeah,
Yes.
this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, you're escaping the hospital. There's the chase on the. It was so good, right? And you
Even
wake
like
up.
the trailer too. The trailer was so like thought provoking. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh,
I think in a lot of ways, Metal Gear Solid 5 has the greatest
potential.
potential and also the most squandered potential.
Agreed.
You know, we'll eventually just do a podcast about that. I think we recorded one once before. I don't know where the heck it is.
Yes.
But I believe it had so much potential and it was all squandered.
Yes.
All of it.
Yes. Absolutely. Terrible.
Yeah. But I mean, the first mission, amazing. Even the second mission was great. When you first arrive in Afghanistan and you're like, you need to learn the way of the land, boss. You know, and so you're sneaking through Afghanistan and
You're going sideways on the horse.
Yeah, and he's radioing you and he's like, okay, we've picked up the notes that say that, you know, Miller is over here. And then you go there and Miller's not there. It's like, okay, interrogate these guys and find out what they know about Miller. And then you go and then you find this huge, you know, facility. You're like, Miller's in there. We need to get Miller out. Then you go in and you rescue Miller. He's like, what took you so long? And he's like, is he blind? Did they injured his eyes or something, right?
Is that why you wear sunglasses?
Yeah, he wears sunglasses because he's when he takes them off, his eyes are all cloudy, like they did something to his eyes.
Ew.
But he's also missing a leg and an arm, right?
Yes.
That's why he's so pissed, basically.
He has phantom pain.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
Yes, definitely.
So, even that mission was amazing, right? Where I was like, I am feeling this 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And you get Miller, and then when you're escaping, you're like, who are these guys? And the what is that group of enemies called? I can't remember.
Oh, God.
Skulls?
Yes, I think
Is
so.
it the skulls?
Yeah, I think so.
And they're super annoying,
Yes.
right? And they're like chasing you. They're like ice skating on sand. That part I didn't like too much.
Yeah.
As they're like chasing you.
Like, that's not fair.
But I thought it was amazing. And then you get to the helicopter, you throw Miller on the helicopter, you get on the helicopter and the skulls are there and you escape on the helicopter and you get the turret and start firing at them with the turret on the helicopter.
Yes.
Like, amazing.
Yes.
Amazing first 2 missions. And then you get to mission 3 and it's like, hey, why don't you go and repeat the same things you just did?
Yeah.
But for a random dude who you don't know.
Yeah.
Joe Blow also needs rescuing.
It's like,
And
oh, yeah.
Mission 4. Go retrieve a document and come back.
Yeah, yeah.
Mission 5.
So dumb.
Go retrieve another document and come back.
Cassette tape. And all that stuff.
Boss, we need you to go pick up that pile of poop in Afghanistan and bring it back for us. There's got some valuable intel in there. Boss, we need you to get on that right away.
Yeah, I know.
And then you fly out and you come back with the pile of poop.
We forgot to mention White Mamba.
Oh, well, we'll get to him.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So,
Okay, so after we collect the pile of poop.
right, after we collect like 30 piles of poop, we get to, maybe it's more like 18 piles of poop. We get to, we get White Mamba, which is also introduced in a shitty way where it's just
Yeah.
he's just vaguely mentioned that he might be your son or something. Or no, he's vaguely mentioned as
Les
there's
Infantry?
one white soldier running this all black because they're in Africa.
You can't say black.
What's wrong with that? I'm not being racist. I'm telling literally what it is.
Okay, fine.
They're black soldiers, black child soldiers.
Yes, that's right. They were, yes.
So the game sets it up so you can't shoot child soldiers.
Good.
Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's- yeah.
But you go in and then you finally confront the one white soldier in the all black unit, and it is White Mamba, who ends up being Liquid Snake.
Les enfants terribles.
But then they put this little plot twist in where they do a blood test of you versus
White Mamba.
your supposed your supposed son, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they say the blood doesn't match. He's not your son. But then, at the end of the game, there's that plot twist where you're actually not Big Boss. So then it's like, yeah, that's why his blood doesn't match because you're not Big Boss.
Oh my God.
You've been conditioned to think you were Big Boss.
Yes, it was like a 7-year training thing.
Yeah. So there was that. Then there's Quiet, who I thought was useful at times.
She was
very useful on missions.
Yes, she was.
But beyond that, she wasn't that great.
True.
She basically had no character development. You know what character they squandered the most of any character?
The old man.
No.
Okay, who?
Even more than Liquid Snake. The character they squandered the most is Ocelot. He is the most interesting character. Think
Yeah,
about,
you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Think about how interesting Ocelot is, and then in that game, he essentially just sits around.
Yeah.
He's like, boss, we should really do something about the angry kids on the 2nd floor of the base.
Yes.
Boss, you should probably get in the helicopter, boss.
Yeah.
It's like, this is Ocelot, the
I
most
know.
interesting guy who's spanned the entire span of all 5 Metal Gear Solid games. He's in all of them.
And he's just your secretary now?
And he's your secretary?
Oh, God.
And then I'm sure anyone who's listening at this point, because I'm sure anyone who is uninterested is already tuned out.
True.
Wow, this went on longer than I was expecting.
Yes.
You remember the ending issues where it was like, what was the Liquid Snake steals the Metal Gear?
They completely didn't finish the game, and
Yeah.
they just gave us. They're like, this is a colored cell of what could have been if Kojima wasn't fired. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we really wish that Kojima wasn't fucking around, circle jerking his celebrity buddies.
Yeah, that's true. He was. He totally was. Yeah. So it could have been great, but it wasn't. You kind of wanted him to finish. Like, Like, I wonder if the fans paid. Like, could you please finish this? He'd probably say no. He's probably
Yeah,
like, I moved on to bigger,
he's
better
moved
things.
on now. But
I moved on to men having umbilical babies,
I moved on to my new circle jerk.
black oil stains, and everything makes no sense.
I've moved on to making really obscure trailers so Young Yeah can make really long and annoying analyses. I need an hour and a half analysis of a 5-minute trailer.
I see this footprint. I think it means that the person we're looking
Did
for
you
is
see
on the left.
treads? Oh, the way he moved his toes is very impressive. Did you see the color of his fingernails there? There's some implication there of what's going to happen next in Death Stranding.
Oh my god.
His eye twitch. Did you see that?
Yes, the poo smear. It's ancient tribal
They
saying.
found a pile of poop,
Yes.
even in the new game.
There you go. Well, and maybe
Maybe they'll go on many annoying and repetitive missions
Of collecting
to find piles of poop,
yes.
to find out the strands of death.
Death Stranding.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Then the twist will be that you were dead all along.
What a twist.
Hideo Kojima will just be like, "Did you like it?
Did you rack it?
Did you like it?" And Yang Yeah will be like, "Oh, I jizzed."
Just in my pants. Anyways, I think that we are reaching the end of this podcast.
I think we've covered all of them. 5 was an absolute disappointment in every way possible, except for the gameplay was fun. It was fun
Graphics
to
were
play. The graphics were great. There were some great things about the game, but there's a lot of excuse makers for Metal Gear Solid 5, right? Like,
It was a brand new engine, Kenny. He had to invent the technology.
so what?
Leave him alone.
Buy an engine like every other game company.
No. He must make it, for
Well-
it is beautiful.
Yeah, and look what happened because he made it himself.
Well, you know.
You know, if he had a game engine that he just bought or the company bought, they would have had 5 years to work on the game instead of 3 years to make an engine and 2 years to make a game or whatever they
You don't think they're making money off that engine, though? Come
No,
on.
they're not making any games. So they're not making any money off that. Oh, they're making Metal Gear Survive. Blech.
I thought they were making Metal Gear
I
Pachinko.
gotta go throw up after saying that. Metal Gear Pachinko, we're not even talking about that
Okay,
trash.
that's another thing. Okay, guys, anyways, we're going to end off this podcast. Thank you so much for sitting through me and Ken's little chat. If you like what you see, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And our Twitter handle is YouAreDorkalicious. And also, we have some Twitch as well that we like to use.
Yes.
So in the comments below, please mention which one is your favorite Metal Gear, and we'll definitely comment on it because we love Metal Gear. If there's anything more passionate in this house, it is Metal Gear Dis. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Lydia
And Kenny G.
and Kenny G signing off. Bye. It was fun dorking out with you.
Bye.
Hey guys, this is Lydia. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. Give us a couple likes and a share. The likes are super important because every time you like, it gives our channel a bit more exposure. So please like. If you don't want to follow, at least like. Please, please, please. Also, if you want to chat, please leave a comment down below. Also, if you want to chat more frequently, we are on Twitch. The channel is called super_dorkalicious, and we stream pretty much daily. And we stream like video games, karaoke, fun stuff. So just pop on over to Twitch, super_dorkalicious, and definitely engage with us. So, but for now, please like and share and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.